Another Blue Review time. Greg Bergman, the Big CY, and the Blue Review, as always, presented by Los Angeles International Airport, where changes are arriving daily to help reduce traffic, save travelers time, and transform the travel experience. All right, Big CY, I got Tony Gonsolin on the mound. How'd it look?
He looked okay. I thought he looked comfortable. He was getting outs that he liked. One of the things you brought up yesterday was that you wanted to keep his pitch count down. That's what kind of kept them in this early in this game. I thought he did a good job with that. He gives up a lot of fly balls, though. And, I don't hate that. I'm typically the guy who kind of prefers a ground ball pitcher, but he gave up a lot of fly balls in this game. It wasn't as if he was exactly blowing people away, but he did have a little bit of an element of trickery from a strikeout standpoint. So I thought it was a good outing for him. Until, obviously, he gave up a 3-run homer. But we've talked about this before with this team, sort of a live by the homer, die by the homer kind of thing that's happening. And the bats didn't show up last night.
No, and the bats are part of the problem that's been happening for a little while now.
Yeah.
Since last Wednesday, when they had a big outing against the Cardinals, they haven't had more than 6 hits in a game. So that's a huge problem. And if you really want to look at it, they had 6 hits last night, and they had 6 hits against the Padres on Sunday, and all those came late, 8th inning or later. So they're not getting any contact ahead of time. So in those first 7 innings, that's a problem.
Let me read you this stat that I actually had for yesterday's program, which was going into last night's game. The Dodgers they went 463 with runners in scoring position against the Phillies, and then that dropped to 125 against the Padres. And they hit 137 with nobody in scoring position against the Padres as well. The timely hits are not there. That's not something this team is doing right now. And when you come to postseason baseball, I hate to keep using the postseason as an allegory for everything, but it is an addition of everything you do in the regular season, right? So, timely hitting is not something this team does well. I thought also, this is a situation too where now Gonsolin gets a good outing. You don't win the game. Syndergaard's up next. I just feel like this is where this gets wonky. And I mean that in terms of, yes, the way that the lineup sets up again, it could be the same set of starters against the Padres. But if this turns into a situation where, let's say, okay, you got 2 in San Diego. If you lose these in Milwaukee and then you split again at home against San Diego, well, was it worth it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. We're still working to determine how these configurations in terms of trying to stack your best pitchers against the best teams is going to work out. But this is what the job of a manager is for Doc. So we'll see what happens. But they looked like there was no point at which I thought the Dodgers were going to win this game. My basic analysis of what watching a game in the field is like, and this was one of those. They just didn't look like they had it.
Yeah, I mean, against the Phillies, we were talking so much about manufactured runs, and this is what they were doing. And then I kind of understand it against the Padres because you were going up against their top 3 pitchers. You're not supposed to have big outings against them. Those are the best pitchers that they have, and they're one of the better teams in baseball. This game kind of was a little distracting. You're right, because they didn't get anything going against here. I know Freddie Peralta is a pretty good pitcher, but he's still a guy that they should be able to hit and actually just be able to manufacture some runs and walk. I mean, they walk a few times, but for the most part, they're just not getting the timely hitting. And I need to see that, especially with Syndergaard on the mound today.
Right.
You don't know what you're going to get from him. You're either going to get that really good outing, which is a really good outing for him is 2-3 runs, or he's going to blow up like he has a couple times where he gives up 7.
Peralta did look good, by the way, on the mound. He had far more confidence than I'd seen in a while. But here's the other thing that we want to point out. You're right. They didn't have it, but I think that was because, okay, so there's some stat going around. I probably should have looked this up. But basically, every team that gets on the road after Sunday Night Baseball that they played on the road loses. And that's pretty much it. And so it's become this kind of a weird thing where that's something to look for. Not that this is some sort of a gambling show, but just in terms of how you see how teams play. Teams don't play well coming off of Sunday Night Baseball on the road going to another place. So that, I think, probably is an element of this. Also, an earlier game after that, there was some time, but whatever. That's what the schedule is. So
Are you saying there's a Sunday Night Baseball curse?
No, I mean, I'm saying that the statistics show that no team that's played on the road and gone to another team, gone on the road again, has won a game this year after it. Like, curse or not, it hasn't happened. Or it's like one team is done.
I mean, I want to have the Sunday Night Baseball curse be a thing now. Is this something that we can make happen?
I don't have enough statistical value in order to really qualify it as a curse. But I know that.
Look, I get we work for ESPN, but like,
curse.
I'm all about it.
It could be, I mean, it could be a thing. I'm interested. I wonder though, sort of separately off to the side, if that were true, if they were to start scheduling that differently, like sort of how like after a Thursday night game, you have to have a certain thing in football or whatever, you know what I mean? So that you don't have a natural disadvantage.
Sure.
Just doing it, but we'll see. But Syndergaard tonight, Dodgers got 3 different lefties in a row that they're facing. So it'll be an interesting test for what their lineup looks like. But yeah, see if they can get one back against the Brewers.
Yeah, would be great to get one back here, because like you said, going into that Padres series, you got to have a couple wins.
Kevin didn't even have to pitch last night. That's how you know it was a blowout. He didn't even have to throw.
So. Then he should have been available to us today. I'm not seeing what the issue is here.
He's got to focus. They're trying to win a division.
Focus. Yeah. Hey, it's still May. It's all right. All right. For the Blue Review, Big CY, Clinton Yates, Greg Bergen. Thanks to LAX. We'll see you tomorrow.